All right, guys. So our final topic here is a bit of a mixture of a couple different topics. We got some rather lengthy articles have came out about just the overall like subscriber count between all these streaming services, the impact that the pandemic has had on the streaming services, and the impact that it has had on the box office in general. So I'm gonna link both of these like two primary articles in the description down below. So if you want to actually read them in depth, if you're really into these kind of things, it's a lot of like number crunch and stuff. So a lot of people find it boring. So we're not going to cover like these very in-depth articles like in their entirety, but I'm going to focus on just a couple of these numbers here just to kind of highlight uh some of these numbers are pretty incredible when you actually see them as far as just the overall. I don't know. In some ways, things were good for like the streaming services and everything, but then you compare that to the box office, and there's a significant difference in success there, and it's I don't know, it's very interesting. So we're gonna pull this up. We're gonna just get into this right now here, and the first one that we are going to get into is the HBO Max set a because I kept saying a couple like during the last couple segments, like we got articles we're gonna get into. Don't worry, we got articles we're gonna get into. We're gonna cover this in a little bit. This is one of them. As far as the HBO Max and Disney Plus, when kind of like we were just talking about before with Wonder Woman coming out on HBO Max, like how much did it actually help? And apparently, there was 554,000 users who signed up just on the Friday to Sunday period. So that gives us some indication like we were talking about before, like we just had the percentages to go off of, and even when you look at the percentages, it's like I think we come up to like 11 million for Disney Plus, and then what was it, like 6 million for Warner Brothers. Like the numbers are just too finicky for anybody to really try to digest because we don't have the actual viewer counts from these people being with streaming services, because they just don't release the information. Like so, it's really hard. I'm sure they release it to like the people who own stock. I mean, unless maybe like the high enough. If you're high enough on the totem pole as far as a shareholder, you probably get that information. But I don't know. I don't know why they just don't release the numbers. And it's probably because, in all honesty, like if you guys remember, Netflix started counting like a view of being like, what was it, man? It was something ridiculous. Like if they watched 1 minute of something,
The first
like
3 minutes of a show or something.
yeah,
That
it's
counts as a
like
view.
that's like it's
Mhm.
kept auto playing, and you didn't realize that it like you know what I mean?
That shouldn't count.
Yeah, but it counts. That's when Netflix will count. So it's like when Netflix comes out and says like this was our highest viewed thing, it's like what does that really mean?
Yeah.
Like
a little
it's
divisive.
gonna watch that for just to like take a dump and then turn it off. Like I don't know. Regardless, this is a pretty big number, just indicating that there's been 554, half a million users sign up in just a weekend. That's pretty good. I mean, that gives a better indication on
It's
what we
not
were,
bad.
what we were talking about in the previous segment. Like, it gives us a better idea. And then this is like stuck behind a paywall on Bloomberg, so like you got enough money, Bloomberg. So I'm not going to support that. We're going to move on here to Deadline. And like this article, this is the one that I'm going to link in the description below. And then this next one, so just look out for these two from Deadline, and these are both from Deadline. One's the box office one, one's the streaming one. But this one there's a ton of information here. And like I said, I'm not going to cover everything because we'll be here all night. But there are some like tidbits here that I just want to focus on. And this little segment here was in reference to HBO Max. And it kind of goes in hand with what we were saying before, where no one knows what HBO Max even is. Like we all know because we're all in this world. But this article goes and breaks down that there's literally what was the percentage here? Let me just see. So let me just read this first before I start going off track. I'm just going to get confused. So this goes on to say that one, Disney had, despite Disney having like far more subscribers because their pay rate, like the amount they charge for their service, it's still essentially netting them like nothing essentially because it's so cheap. So like they're starting with a subscription increase by $1. I guess come March of next year, they're going to
Not
increase
bad.
everything up. And then eventually it's going to go up even higher. But I think that's cool on Disney's part, at least, is to start with $1 and then kind of go from there. But this one here, so because of a complex model the company executives concede has been an obstacle in the early going, most paying HBO subscribers have not yet activated their HBO Max subscriptions, which are available to them at no additional cost. So point being, if you already had the regular HBO service, like you paid it through your cable provider, you had it as an add-on in Amazon Prime, whatever it was. Like if you bought HBO, had HBO Go, had HBO Now, whatever it was, if you had one of the pre-existing HBO services, you actually have HBO Max. You require no additional like signing up. There's nothing else you need to sign up for. All you have to do is sign into HBO Max with the same credentials you were signed into before. And there's only been, like, I think that's where they go on to say, where's the number here? So as of October,
okay, go ahead.
you're good. Oh, let me finish this one because I'm going to lose place. There's so much information on this stupid thing. But as of October, there were about 3.6 million direct retail subscribers to HBO Max. So that means 3.6 million people sought out the HBO Max application and actually signed up and paid for it through that platform. So then by December, they were up to 12.6 million activations across HBO customers and retail subscribers. So we know that we can kind of get a rough number on that just based on, like, they were supposedly at about 28 million total. So between the month of just in the month of December, they've had 12.6 of their overall subscriber base. If we're looking at this correctly, because the previous article said they were at 28 million total subscribers. 12.6 of those subscribers just signed up in December. So they have gained about a third of their overall totals just this much. So if you want to look at it from that perspective, then Wonder Woman 84 definitely played a substantial role in that. Like, obviously, there was no other reason to sign up for an HBO other than Wonder Woman 84 in December. What were you going to say?
Well, you had mentioned that only a fraction of their HBO subscribers had converted over to the HBO Max subscriptions, even though for a lot of them it was included. I'll just say, as someone that was in that boat, I was an HBO Now subscriber, I think. Was HBO Now was the standalone subscription one, I believe.
Yeah.
So I was an HBO Go when I had HBO on as part of my cable package, and then when I got rid of cable like a decade ago, I switched over to HBO Now. And then when I went to, obviously I wanted to go from HBO Now to HBO Max because I wanted all the additional content with HBO Max. And when I tried to make that switch, when I tried to change my billing and go on to HBO Max and subscribe to their platform and get that switch made over, it was virtually impossible. I had to contact customer service at HBO like I think 3 different times. I had my HBO Now payment going through Amazon's web services, so I had to cancel that and then contact HBO Max like I think it was like 3 times before I was able, because it was telling me that my credentials were already tied to a different HBO account, and so I couldn't subscribe to the HBO Max account. It was a big headache, and so I'm not surprised at all to hear that a lot of HBO customers have not converted to HBO Max.
Oh yeah, like I didn't even know that it was like problematic in that level, because I didn't have any problems, because like it's really weird because I used to have HBO through my cable provider, and I'm still and then I got it through Amazon just through Prime. Like I just had like the add-on for $15 a month or whatever it was, because it was cheaper than having HBO through my cable provider. I have internet cable bundled, so it's just I don't pay extra for cable. I don't have cable anymore, so I'm just calling on my cable provider. But either way, I had it through there, but then I stopped paying for it through there because they charge like $18, $19 a month for it, and it was only $15 to get it through Amazon. So I switched over, but I'm still able to sign into HBO Max using my cable provider login. So think I'm just getting it for free right now. I can just sign in.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm just like, so if you're watching this, and you're working with I'm not going to name my cable provider, so you can't shut me down. So I'm not saying nothing. You didn't hear anything from me. John, I think you froze again. Let me see if I can find this other, like, there was one other piece of news here. Because like I said, this article is just way too big. But it's a good read if you want to actually take a look at some of this stuff. Like, it goes on to say that, like, Peacock was able to amass like 26 million users, but that's not the premium. Like, because the Peacock is both free and they have a paid tier, but they haven't released what the actual paid tier is. So, like we said, these streaming services don't have to release their numbers, and they don't like to do it. Even Netflix, who we know is killing it, they have almost 200 million subscribers, but they're still very shady on the information that they actually do release. And it's the same way with like Peacock and all this stuff. But because they have that free service, then I mean that's why they've gotten. I mean, The Office is on Peacock, so there's the 26 million people. They're just watching The Office.
Right.
Like, that's literally what it is. What do we see here? So the number of households subscribing to multiple streaming services reached 61%, up from 48% in 2019. So I mean that's huge. Like, and that's just because due to the pandemic, and that's why like they've been like the streaming services have been like popping off. Where was this number for Disney? Because there was something that showed that Disney, despite not being able to release their films theatrically this year, their stocks and everything have gone up in 2020, regardless of not having, with their theme parks being shut down, with no movies, or not no movies, but most of Disney's movies having to forego having any sort of theatrical run due to Disney Plus, essentially. Disney stock has still managed to become more valuable now than it was in 2019, which is crazy. Which again, it just goes to show the direct to consumer is what they're focusing on and why.
That last sentence in that paragraph where your cursor is, the company says Disney Plus will reach 230 to 260 million subscribers by 2024, quadrupling its annual content spending to at least $8 billion by that time. That's incredible.
I know. Like it goes to show you why that all these companies, like, that's why it seems like a crazy move and like a shitty move by HBO and Warner Brothers just to say we're putting everything on HBO Max. Like, everything's going there. Like, this is why they see these numbers.
Why would HBO Max not? If Disney has been so successful in it and they're trending in this right direction, I'm still a little confused why HBO Max set their price point at such a higher amount than Disney Plus. I mean, they set it higher than Netflix, right? Out of the gate. I'm assuming it has something to do with what people were paying for HBO before time. And I'm guessing it might also have to do with cable subscriptions and how much people have to pay for HBO through their cable provider. Maybe they didn't want to undercut the cable providers, but at this point, God, when you're talking about that kind of revenue, undercut your cable provider. Cable companies are dead. I'm sorry, but you're dead in the water. AT&T is. 100%. That's why they're buying HBO Max and stuff, or why they're buying Warner Brothers, is to get these other ad revenues, because they know the cable services are DOA almost at this point.
Oh yeah,
and that is 100% the biggest reason that they're like so far behind right now, is because there was too much of a confusion between what the platform even is, HBO Max. And even existing customers like yourself who tried to activate the new platform with your existing account ran into too many issues to even do it. But on top of that, their price point it's $15 to $20 depending on like what you were getting before, right? And had they launched their HBO Max platform as Warner Plus or Warner Brothers Plus or whatever, and had a more Disney to Netflix level price point for it, and we're able to then market Warner Brothers Plus with DC and HBO and Looney Tunes, and actually have your brands underneath that, with HBO being one of the brands included with your Warner Brothers Plus platform, at, let's say, a $10 a month, they would not be trailing this far behind right now.
Yeah.
Everybody would see that you have instantly more value by signing up for this Warner Brothers Plus platform than you would keeping HBO Now, Go, or HBO or whatever, because HBO is more expensive, and if I get this for a year, it's only $10, like, and then it'll go up to 15, like, you know, and then it goes back to their normal $15 a month for HBO, because that's exactly why it was the same price, because it's the same platform. HBO Max is just what HBO Go was and HBO Now was, just with the new stuff on it. But no one knows that. It's the same price, so there's nothing to differentiate with it, and it has the same damn name. Like,
Yeah.
you know, had they come out and said $10 a month, you get this, HBO's included, and you get it all for, you know, a year, like whatever it may be, we would not have we would have lost a lot of content complaining about HBO.
And the other thing they could have done is they could have played on the nostalgia of everybody that has grown. I mean, everybody in the world that's interested in movies and entertainment has grown up with Warner Brothers Pictures, and they could have played off of, you know, all the classic Warner Brothers pictures that have come out over there. They could have shown you know, trailers featuring all their big movies throughout the years. You know, just little segments that really touch that nostalgia, and then they could have shown all the cool new stuff that was coming up at the end of it and show how it all was in one area. Instead they went with this HBO thing that just, like you said, doesn't make sense.
Dude, it was a huge because again, that's more marketing gold. It's like you play to the nostalgia. You just have the movie trailer voice guy come over and start. You know, you got the trailer playing, and you're saying, like, you know, it shows like the Matrix code, and it's like, you know, go, you know, the experience Warner Brothers classics. You know, and it's like
classics.
Yeah, it's like in a whole new way.
For decades, we've brought you, you know,
like
the thrills of your life.
Yeah,
and now we're going to bring you them in a whole new way. And,
under one simple platform. You know, there's like one click away.
Yeah, their marketing sucked.
Yeah, the marketing for this was just, there was none. It was just HBO Max is out. And it's like, cool, what is it?
Word of mouth almost.
Yeah, no one knows what the hell it was. It wasn't available. Again, wasn't available everywhere. Still not available internationally in a lot of places. Like, that's another thing too, where like their subscriber counts, like again, they weren't on Roku, they weren't on Amazon, the two biggest, you know, most used streaming platform devices, and then they're still at this point not in all the international markets that Disney's in. So it's no surprise that they are so far behind in subscriber count, but this is just more of a failure on Warner Brothers and HBO's end, because they shouldn't have released a damn platform in this fashion. Like, because I don't know, everything else is just kind of suffering for it because they're trying to play catch up, kind of like the DC films were. Like, they're trying to play catch up with Marvel and just start throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, instead of just focusing on like making a product that's good and like not confusing to the consumer. It's just, I mean, granted, we're just a couple of guys sitting here talking about a bunch of shit that we're not a part of, and it's real easy to play, you know, what is it, the Monday morning quarterback or the couch quarterback, whatever the hell it is. Like, it's real easy for everybody to do it. It's real easy to see the problems and come up with solutions afterward. I get that. But a lot of this just seems like kind of brain dead common sense.
Like, really, yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's like there's like no common sense with it at all.
So half this shit, we just come off with off the top of the head, off the cuff. And it's like, it all sounds like it would have been better, like better ways of going about it.
Right.
But and then the other one here, because that's just, like I said, again, guys, I'll have the link to this article in the description, but it's just a lot more information like that. Like, yeah, here's the thing where Disney stock rose 24% in 2020, which is an all-time high, like, during the pandemic. Like, that's, so it's like, I get why HBO wants to do this. Like,
yeah, and then you compare that to what their losses were for this year, and like, it's astounding to think of that their stock went up that much.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's because of like their focus on streaming. Like, everybody who is an investor in Disney, they know that they're going to be with that projection of having, you know, 240 million subscribers and all this stuff. They know that's going to happen. They're confident it's going to happen. They see the results
quadrupling your earnings. Yeah, quadrupling your earnings over your investments. That's That's incredible.
Exactly. It's just I don't know. So yeah, I mean, if you're a big shareholder in Disney, congratulations.
Right.
Like, I mean, you're
Future is
already
bright.
yeah, you're already probably in a pretty good spot, but in 4 more years,
Things are only getting better.
yeah, for sure. So let's talk about these box office hits real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. And again, guys, I'm gonna have these articles down in the description below. So if you wanna take a deeper dive into this stuff, it's a lot of numbers games, but it's interesting when you look at it. So this little graph here we have, it just shows you the amount of money at the box office these movies. This is domestic box office and the changes that each production company has had, and it's like pretty astronomical. Like everything's down 50 and in some cases 90%. And granted, like we said with the other percentage game you have to play, like 90% of a loss in revenue for Lionsgate is vastly different than a 90% loss for Disney.
Yeah,
Disney made like almost 13 billion at the box office. That's billion with a B in 2019. So them losing, they're down 90% of that. Like that's a substantial loss. Like at the box office, like you're looking at like they made like 2 billion or something. Like you know what I mean? Which is funny when you look at this overall number. It almost like it's like. It only came from like Disney and Sony, and like even this just no one made any money this year.
It's been a tough year.
Yeah, but yeah, like 90% for Lionsgate is nowhere near as bad as 90% for Sony. I mean, granted, it's all relative, right? Because Lionsgate doesn't have as much money as Disney,
No,
so
yeah, they're smaller.
it kind of is what it is. But I mean, again, the overall total domestic box office gross for the entire year is averaging to about 2.2 billion, as opposed to, like I said, Disney made like 13 billion by themselves last year. That gives you any indication on where the theater industry is. So it's like obviously no surprise that AMC is like on life support right now. Like, what else do we have here? Trying to find, there was one other good thing here. I think the crazier part here too is actually like how well in air quotes like Sony did. I think that's what they're showing here. Like Sony, it was like pretty much they were kind of positioned in the best spot right now as far as box office, the end of the year box office for them, because they were they put enough into it and got enough out of it in 2020 to make their this year or for when in comparison to the 2019 year, they almost had the same amount, and since they didn't have quite as many losses as everybody else did, so them not spending as much in 2019, this kind of worked out for them. Kind of same with Paramount. They didn't spend nearly as much, so they only had like a 68% loss. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well, he's looking at that for you novice investors out there. Be careful at the end of this year too when you go look at the percentage increases for these companies, because if things do get back on track, you're going to see, while you saw these giant losses this year, you're going to see equally giant increases at the end of next year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a skewed number. What you really need to compare to is go back a year to 2019 and kind of, it's an outlier. These are going to be outliers, these numbers that we're getting the next couple of years here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're going to see like commercials or like reports come out or something saying that like, yeah, Sony's earnings are up 200
million%. Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, he has like 2 movies come out the year before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man.
Their opening weekend for their first movie post pandemic is going to do more than their entire 2020 schedule
exactly.
did. So.
Exactly. Oh man. Yeah, definitely look out for that. That's funny. They're going to market with that stuff too, and I can't blame them.
Oh yeah.
I can't blame them. I can't find what else I was looking for in this necessarily off the top of my head. But like again, guys, I'll have this stuff in the description below, so you can go take a deeper look at it. It's just it's a ton of information. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to add on this? I just think it's crazy that box office wise, I think this is a huge indication.
It'll just be interesting, I think, to see at the end of 2021 how much it's hopefully increased, assuming that 2021 is better than 2020, but
That's a
could
good
be the
question.
complete opposite.
That's a good question, given like Warner Brothers, especially their shift to wanting to put everything on streaming. And granted, the pandemic still is a question mark. You know, we don't know when everything's gonna, if and when things are gonna go back to normal, just like
Yeah.
health wise, let alone the just shift to streaming for all these companies. For at least the ones that have them, your Paramount, your Paramount's moving all the CBS All Access stuff to Paramount Plus. They're doing what Warner Brothers should have done with HBO Max. They're branding their platform off of the company of Paramount, because they tried CBS All Access and they see that it's failing, and they're just going to change it to Paramount Plus. Makes sense. Stupid, yeah, because everything's just X Plus, but it's been ingrained into the consumer's mind that they know that's a streaming service now, so that's just the way you go.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So it's going to be interesting to see how 2021 is with the additional outliers of the theater industry. Are we going to even be able to go to the theaters? And then how much stuff is going to be just transitioned over to streaming, because they can't push stuff back again. Like they can't, like all these movies that, like, it's already like going to be a super stacked year with everything that they've had to push back from 2020 to 2021. And they can't just sit on these movies. Like financially, they're already accruing interest on the loans that these, like, you know, Disney took out to make Black Widow, right? That was supposed to come out in July. They're having to pay interest on this movie and all those loans that they had to take to make the damn movie. They can't just push it back another year. It's just going to become way too expensive for them to do it. And it's not like just Black Widow. I'm just using that one example. If they have 10 movies they made last year that they were supposed to come out, they borrowed the money to make it. So them not putting it out in theaters is them, or not putting it out anywhere for PVOD or whatever it is. They're not making money. So they can't just keep pushing it back. They're going to have to release it in some fashion. So
Yeah.
do you have anything to add, John? I thought you were going to say something, and I may have just rambled on.
No, it's fine. No, I think we've covered most of
Okay.
what I was looking at.
All right, good deal. Well, I think that pretty much covers it, guys. Again, check the description for these articles if you want to take a deeper dive into them. It's a lot of information. So if you're into it, I'll put them in there. And then don't forget a couple things here. One, you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Elsewise, I'm going to have, like I said, on top of the show, we're going to be bringing the statue and figure reviews back. We're going to start doing those. I'm not going to say that they're going to be one a week, because I'm not going to commit to anything like that, because I don't want to not have it come out and then get called out about it. In an effort to not disappoint, I'm just going to say they're coming back. And the first one's going to be the Prestige Batman from Arkham Knight. You know, so look out for that. I'll probably put up an unboxing first. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the unboxing completely separate from the review. I think what I'm going to do is do the unboxing and do a quick review, and then do like a showcase. Like if you go back and look at the couple of statue reviews I did, for a couple of them I uploaded a separate just statue showcase, which was just shots of the statue essentially. I'll probably do something like that. I'll do the unboxing, do a review, and then upload like a little montage of just the thing in high res or something. I don't know. Just let me know what you'd like to see, at least as far as the overall format of the reviews. What's the most appealing to you? Let me know now in the comment section below for that. Elsewise, Rick, where can everybody find you online, sir?
Right down here, Sir Rick Metz, RIKMETZ. I'm on Instagram, and I should probably make a Twitter, but I don't know what I'd have to say, really.
Dude, I got a Twitter and an Instagram, and I barely do anything with them. I just have them because you're just supposed to have them.
Yeah, I haven't used Instagram in forever.
Yeah,
but you can follow me.
Yeah, I know, that's what I always say. I'm just like, well, you can follow me, here, but I don't know if I'll see it. Like, but you should still follow me, because maybe I'll start using it more often if people actually like.
Yeah, if they had more interaction, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe people would want to if I actually used it more too. So maybe it's partly my fault. But I don't know. I'm trying to do this. I got other stuff to do. I don't know. It is what it is. John, where can everybody find you online?
I'm over at Twitter at Nightwing_J. I should probably look into expanding out to Instagram, but for now I'm over at Twitter, and feel free to drop your thoughts or comments on things I have said in the videos there.
There we go. And on top of the statue reviews and everything, and the Hot Toys reviews coming out, I'm getting the custom lightsabers in soon. I got some more information on that coming. Rick is getting one too, so we'll probably have a breakdown of one of those actually pretty soon too. At some point here, you're supposed to have it in like this week,
Wednesday,
right?
Yeah.
So look out for that. Be on the lookout for that, and then plenty more to come. So. Elsewise, though, you can follow me just at Sir Rob Bifo. And again, let me know what kind of reviews you want to see, at least a format of the reviews. Would you rather have a separate unboxing, just the first reaction of just the unboxing, and then a separate review after I've had some more time to fiddle with it? Or would you rather just all be as like a first impressions kind of thing? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. And look out for that. Like and subscribe. Do all the good stuff. Look out for the live streams. We've been playing some stuff. Just lots of video games and whatnot. We'll do that more. All the good stuff. So, I don't know. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching again. Like and subscribe. Take care.